Folks, there's no other way but to be all in. Either he's Lord of all or he is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity. See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know him and follow his teachings, hashtag life change will occur.
This is Coach Borrego of the Charlotte Hornets. Hello to all you parents out there in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I want to congratulate 38 years for the AYBL. You guys are doing a great job. You've shaped a lot of lives, young men and women, and you'll continue to do that. Parents, get involved, sign your kid up. It's a great program. It helped shape who I am today, helped shape me as a basketball player, as a coach. So get out there, sign them up. Have a great season. Good luck to everybody.
It's time to make your plans to be at New Mexico's premier annual sports event. The 13th annual New Mexico Bowl is Saturday, December 15th, high noon at Dreamstyle Stadium. I'm Jeff Symbieta, Executive Director of the New Mexico Bowl. Be with us as once again college football's bowl season kicks off right here in Albuquerque. Bring your friends, bring your colleagues, host your holiday party at the New Mexico Bowl. It's annually one of the most exciting games of college football's postseason. Bottom line, it's a whole lot of fun. Visit NewMexicoBowl.com or call 925-5999, the New Mexico Bowl, where bowl season begins.
It's hard for a child to learn when they're hungry or being abused at home. Let's stop blaming teachers for problems they didn't create. I'm Steve Pierce. My mom loved teaching, but now Santa Fe asks teachers to be truant officers or social workers. Let our teachers teach, fix our broken test system, and put more money into classrooms. Good teachers don't give up on their kids. As governor, I will not give up on our teachers.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Red Menace TV here on Proview Networks. Leroy Lucero along with Michael Carlisle, 95.9 FM, 610 AM, the sports animal. Did I do it right?
No, that's all right. You were close enough.
I wasn't? I thought that was pretty good.
No.
Should I have used more inflection or what?
It's fine.
No? It's okay? All right. Anyway, Sports Bar. Monday through Friday, great show. I encourage everybody to listen. Probably my favorite show in the city, no doubt about it.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, you know.
You're a big NPR guy, though, so I get it.
That's me. That's me. It's between you and NPR, so that's my battle.
I understand.
Actually, it's the only show I listen to be honest, if I'm going to be completely honest, because I'm in school, or I'm doing the show, so what the heck. Hey, anyways, a lot of great stuff coming up. Yesterday afternoon, you were at the football stadium for Bob Davies' weekly press conference. Yeah. Exciting stuff?
Typical stuff.
Typical stuff. Yeah. You know, yeah, I'm just going to go with that. Typical stuff. I guess the big news, is it big news, that Tavaka Tuioti isn't guaranteed the starting job?
And I guess we'll find out more today.
Is that gamesmanship, Michael?
Davey said yesterday they'd name a starter after practice today. I don't know. I hope it's gamesmanship. If it's not, then Sharon Jones must have had a hell of a week of practice last week during the bye week. Because what you do in the offense with Tuioti, and I'm not saying that Tuioti is that much better than Sharon Jones,
right.
but he obviously won the job out of fall camp. But what you do in the offense with Tuioti is a lot more wide open, and there are a lot more things available to you than what you've done in the offense with Sharon Jones at quarterback. So I would assume that Tuioti will be the starter because it just gives you more options. You know, you go back and look at the Aggie game and you look at how they ran the offense with Sharon Jones. Now, they certainly did more than enough to win, but what they didn't do was any triple option stuff. You were a lot more traditional, and you don't have as much success. With Tuioti, there's a lot more you can do, and it opens things up a lot more. My guess is it's gamesmanship. with Bob Davie. He wants to make Liberty guess a little bit, make them, study for both quarterbacks. So my first thought to that was, well, crap. Why in the heck does Bob Davie feel like he's got to, play games with Liberty, right? You should beat Liberty anyway.
1-2 Liberty.
Right, 1-2 Liberty. The more I thought about it, though, I'm like, if it is gamesmanship, that just shows that Bob Davie wants to win bad every game, whether it's Liberty, whether it's Boise State or San Diego State, whomever the opponent is. And if a little gamesmanship is what it takes, then so be it.
Yeah, I'll tell you, and we talked about this last week, and I stick with it, and it's the way I've always looked at football, especially when we're talking quarterbacks. It's how a coach feels comfortable with that quarterback.
Sure.
And it's always that way. And I'm not saying one's more talented than the other. I just think that there's a comfort level with Tuioti that there is different than with Jones. And perhaps that comfort level grew hugely.
Maybe.
To quote someone, hugely.
Right. Yeah.
This past week, where he would elevate him to that point. Yeah. I didn't see it. Now, also the other thing is that part of the reason that they pulled back with the option versus the New Mexico State Aggies is there wasn't anybody to really back up. I mean, other than a couple of freshmen to back up Jones, and I think they were trying to make sure he didn't take as many hits as possible. Now Tuioti's back. Maybe you do have Jones run a little bit more option. Maybe you do have him display his leg work and pitching ability at that point, because now you have that cushion with Tavaka. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a coach. I'm not going to try to pretend that I'm one. But, man, it just seems like in New Mexico, when was the last time that we had a quarterback set, starting from the beginning of the season and through the end? Even if there's an injury, obviously you're going to have a placement. But where we're making these switches throughout the entire.
The last time?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember that. Was it Donovan Porter-Reed?
It was either Porter-Reed or Cole McCamey. It was probably Porter-Reed, because I think Porter-Reed had a full year, and then the second year as a starter, he got hurt.
Yeah, injuries I don't count, because that's part of the deal. I mean, you're going to obviously put in, but I'm talking about where just like, we don't know who our quarterback's going to be this week, and then they march in the new guy and march in the old guy and bring in the. It just, man, I think it is Porter-Reed, and gosh, who was the coach then?
That was Rocky's last year.
Rocky Long. I mean, since that point, we've never really had a set quarterback based on just, hey, he came out of camp strong, he moved forward. Now, I'm hoping that Tuioti is that guy. And sorry, Sherion Jones. I mean, I'm not saying that you had a bad game.
Sorry you don't say his name right. That's probably more.
Okay, is it Sherion or Sherion?
It's Sharon.
Sharon, sorry, Sharon
Ignore
Jones.
the I, it's Sharon.
Okay, so the I is silent.
Sure.
Sharon Jones.
Don't they teach you anything in school, Leroy?
Well, they don't have the pronunciation keys that are behind each player's name, but Sharon Jones.
Sharon.
See, now you got me all discombobulated here. However, back to my point. I just like to see a quarterback named, stick with that quarterback. If injury happens, it happens. Part of that is, are you comfortable with Tavaka? I think they should be. I think he's.
To be fair to the Lobos and to Bob Davie, I think that was the plan going into the season with Tuioti.
Sure.
Once he went down with the injury, Sharon Jones comes in, and look, maybe they like what they saw. And yes, they simplified some things offensively, and you are right, partially because of the backup situation behind him at New Mexico State. You didn't want to risk him getting injured, so certainly that was part of it. But maybe it's true. Maybe they really like what they saw with Sharon Jones in practice last week. And so far this week, keep in mind, if he doesn't have the hamstring issue in fall camp, maybe he wins the starting job then. I mean, we don't know. So, we'll see how it plays out. Personally, though, I'd be really surprised if it's not Tuioti starting under center on Saturday.
And I'm with you on that. As Boise, little Boise comes to town? Is that gamesmanship?
No, what he said was right. The problem is when you hear Boise, you think of Boise now. His point was they've come up, from smaller divisions, FCS, their first year is FBS. They've won at every level, much like Boise did as they were coming up. Bob Davie at his press conference yesterday did compare them to Boise State, but not Boise State now that's contending for New Year's Six bowls and stuff like that. Boise when they were coming up. And
when a little Drake started at the bottom, now they're here?
I guess.
Yeah, okay. Maybe you don't understand
that but you don't know Sharon.
I don't know Sharon.
Okay.
There are a couple of injuries that obviously are going to hurt the Lobos. Senior captain, middle linebacker Alex Hart's out for the year.
Yep.
defensive end. Trent Sellers out for the rest of the season, both of them with torn ACLs. Colton Gerhardt is still injured.
Yes.
I can't pronounce anybody's name. And Q Drennan, we don't know when he'll be back with a dislocated hip. That's kind of hurt a little bit, don't you think?
It looked awful doggone painful when that one happened. The defensive injuries real quick. Sellers got hurt right before the start of the season, so they haven't had him the whole year. The Alex Hart injury, I think, is big in terms of he's basically the quarterback on the defensive side of the ball. I think talent-wise, you can move guys around, you can plug guys in, and you can be okay there. But I think more than anything, what the Lobos are going to miss with not having Alex Hart is his presence on the field, getting guys in the right spots before the snap, recognizing what the offense is going to do, and making changes on the fly. That's a what?
I thought you were going to say, they're going to miss his heart.
You didn't let me finish.
Oh, sorry.
I think that's what they're going to miss. And let's be honest, Alex really brought a lot of heart to the field.
Sorry, I didn't mean to steal your thunder on that one.
It's fine.
I mean, it just hit me like, I'm
just glad you say my name right.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
Awesome. So before the season started, I said it. I wasn't afraid to say it. Lobos go 3-1, or Bob Davie could be done. I think they're there now. I don't see how they lose to Liberty. I mean, unless the wheels completely come off.
Well,
that New Mexico State game was huge, and huge not so much that they won. It's that I think that was a statement to Lobo fans. I think it was a statement to the team that, hey, we're not going to accept falling to this team ever again, or at least for a while.
Lobos are only a 6.5-point favorite at home against a team playing their first year in FBS.
A 1-2 team.
I know, I got it. And look, the record's not impressive. They put 52 on Old Dominion in week 1. We know Old Dominion beat Virginia Tech this past week.
Sure.
But, since then, 38-14 to Army and 47-7 against North Texas. Now, North Texas is a team that beat Arkansas, but hell, everybody's beating Arkansas these days. So I don't know how big of a win that was. So it's much like with the Lobos, with Incarnate Word and Wisconsin thrown in those first 3 games. It's hard to tell exactly what they are. It's a little hard to tell what Liberty is, but just Liberty's place right now in college football, you would assume the point spread would be a little higher for Saturday's game.
And I can understand. I don't know how they figure out point spreads, and I agree with you. However, once again, we talked about when was the last time the Lobos started with a quarterback and kind of rolled with him all season long, unless there was injury. When was the last time the Lobos really started 3-1 and looked?
2007, I believe.
Right, and I'm talking playing teams that they should beat. I can't recall. You said 2007. That sounds about right.
2007, I believe, was the last time they started 2-1, and it was also the last year they started 3-1.
Right. So it's to me, as a Lobo fan that's followed this program pretty closely the past few decades, I can't recall a team that really started off and seemed that I don't want to say driven. That's not the right focused. Maybe focused is the better word to use on getting these 3 victories, no matter who they are. We knew at the beginning of the season they weren't going to beat Wisconsin. There was no. Come on. We could think that they played well, but they did play well. But more importantly, to me, the game that was most important was that Aggie game, and then this Liberty game. Just don't fall off. Don't let the wheels come off. Play tough, play strong, get the victory, get out of there, and then we go Mountain West Conference time.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Look, I don't think Bob Davie was getting fired if they're not 3-1 after these first 4 games. However, if you want to get your 6 wins or more and get bowl eligible, I think it was important. It is important to be 3-1 after this Liberty game because, once you hit conference play, things get a little tougher. And, typically you look at the schedule and you're like, well, we're home for this and we're home for this one. This will be good wins. Unfortunately for the Lobos, all the home games in conference are against the better teams in the Mountain West, whether it's Boise State, San Diego State, Fresno State. So those games instantly become harder. And, the teams you're playing on the road, you'd probably feel pretty good at playing at home. But since it's on the road, and it is hard to win in the Mountain West Conference on the road, it's hard to win everywhere on the road. It makes those games more difficult as well. So the more wins you have going into conference play, the better you set yourself up for the rest of the season. That's why I think 3-1 is very important. And look, I don't think that's something that's lost on UNM. And my guess is they're going to go out there and try to get it done on Saturday.
Awesome. We'll come back and talk a little bit about El Tigre. Rawr.
Motion. Schreier, the bootleg. Got pressure coming from his right. Throws in the end zone. Caught touchdown.
Wow.
What a no. That's
bounces to the outside, and he's got all the speed in the world. Touchdown, Dorian Lewis. Just like that, 31 yards, touchdown.
we're split to the near side. Schreier back to throw on the fade route. Caught touchdown.
Nice.
What a catch there.
Short field, Davidson gonna go deep, and he's got his guy at the 10, a cut at the 5, and it's Randy Nieto.
That's a 6-week injury at least. Ivy saw the head up. Big hole up the middle. 30, 35, 40. Into West Mason territory. One man to beat. They won't catch Xavier Ivy Sod. 80-yard touchdown run on the first play.
It'll be first down and 10. Is Jeff Davidson going to take the option? Going to quarterback keep it. He's got some room to cut to the outside. Look out. The sophomore's off to the races. Davidson to the 20. Can he go all the way? Touchdown, Cleveland. And what a fast strike by the Storm.
Powell rolls to his left and throws across his body. Cotton's got one man to beat. 45-40 down the left sideline, and he's going to score.
Oh my gosh.
Jack Blankenship. Martin's throwing on the go route. Baku's out there. Caught.
Oh my
touchdown.
gosh.
Holy cow, what a play. What a play, what a catch.
The Barley Room, a proud sponsor of Proview Networks for over 9 years, is pleased to introduce Black Iron Catering. From weddings and family reunions to birthdays and office parties, Black Iron Catering is perfect for any event. Contact Jamie at 505-459-8259 and book your event today. Black Iron Catering. Let us bring our kitchen to you.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at Proview Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Car Crafters, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Don't forget, every Proview Network sporting event is on sale at our DVD store. Go to www.proviewnetworks.com to buy your DVD today.
Red Menace TV here on Proview Networks. Speaking of Proview Networks, Michael.
Yes.
It is the election season's coming up, right? I mean, we have the midterm elections nationally. We're going to be voting for governor here soon.
All right.
New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame, a candidate of our own, President and owner Steve Davis, is a candidate for the 2018 New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame. And we encourage all our viewers to, oh, I like that sound, viewers, not listeners, viewers. I see, like the way I did that. We encourage all our viewers to go to ProviewNetworks.com and vote for Steve.
Absolutely.
To be named. Obviously, not only the work that he did as a Lobo, but more importantly, all the stuff that he does here with Proview Networks, owning, being the president, getting all the games on both
what he's
high
done
school.
in the community,
Yeah.
Giving high school sports a place to be seen in the metro and beyond, I think is huge. That alone should warrant him getting into the Hall of Fame. Like you said, you factor in his time as a Lobo as well. To me, this is a no-brainer.
Well, it's a community leader situation is the way I look at it. Proview Networks has been sought. I've been working here, I think we're going on 6 or 7 years now doing the show. Now I get to do a little play-by-play, which is a lot of fun. In fact, I did the Hope Bloomfield game. And I kept calling him Bloomington. I had, I guess, Bobby Knight on the mind, but Bloomfield game. And I've done a few of those games, and I love doing it.
That's probably not a good way to keep doing it.
Yeah, right. It'd probably be best to remember where they're from. But just all the stuff that's involved with Proview Networks, and like I said, getting the young people, the kids. We can actually say the kids when it comes to high school, young men, young women. On television, streaming, all this stuff. I think it's a no-brainer. Once again, go to ProviewNetworks.com, follow the link there, vote for Steve Davis to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And besides, Alden said that he's throwing a big party for Hall of Fame time once he gets voted in.
Right, and I understand raises for everybody once Steve gets inducted. So please
help a brother out. We need a little bit of cash there because now we would be under the Hall of Famer.
That's right.
So no, definitely go out there. Speaking of Hall of Fame and great performances and things, and now I don't usually talk about this sport because mostly I don't really follow it. I know nothing about it.
Well, this probably isn't going to be a good segment then.
Yeah, well, no, it will be a good segment because I think Tiger Woods, who won his first, I don't want to say match. What do you call it?
His first tournament in 5 years.
His first tournament in 5 years. Yeah. What an amazing. Have you seen the video of him walking that 18th hole and people going nuts? It was like a rock concert. It literally was like Happy Gilmore in real life.
Did you know he looked like walking up to the green on 18?
What's that?
Goldberg.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
there are all the people around.
Yeah.
And he had security people with him and all, and he's just focused. He's intense. He looked like Bill Goldberg back in the day.
Yeah, that's true. Old wrestling WCW Goldberg.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it, yeah, that is cool. And I like this shot. I don't know if they got. I guess it's drones now. I don't think. Does anyone still use a blimp?
No, because a drone's about $300. A blimp's about
a few thousand,
at least. Yeah,
a few. So, but I mean, that shot where you see the people converging in.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was amazing. Like I said, I'm not a huge golf fan. I've never sat and watched golf. I mean, I never have. It's just not anything that I would do on a Saturday, Sunday, Friday afternoon. I did play a few times, but it was a disaster. But and I like I said, I don't follow it at all. But it was exciting.
It was
seeing that, and I know I did. What was the last one where Tiger was close? At the end, was it the Masters?
No, it was a couple tournaments.
It was a couple of tournaments back. I actually watched like the end of that, just kind of to see what that was like. But seeing all the things around, and I mean, you have to think anyone that covers golf has to be excited. Golf fans have to be excited. PGA has to be thrilled that Tiger's back because I don't know, it's kind of boring, I think, without.
Golf does fine without Tiger, but golf is more exciting and more people tune in when Tiger's playing well. As evidence, Sunday's final round was by far the highest rated telecast of the year. Look, Tiger has played well at times this year in his comeback. What he's lacked is the consistency in putting it all together for 4 rounds. He finally did that this past weekend. He got a big win, which I know was a load off his shoulders. and now he'll use that going into the Ryder Cup this weekend.
Well, I mean, there was, and you know, following Tiger Woods' career, of course, he had all that early success, which a lot of some athletes get, became the big deal and everything else. Nike, his own golf line, everything else, and then obviously he fell on hard times, injuries, the arrests, the problems with his ex-wife, all that stuff.
Dude, Perkins has been the downfall of many a man. I'm just saying. Not necessarily for the same reason it was the downfall of Tiger.
Who is this Perkins?
Perkins. That's Tiger had a thing for Perkins waitresses.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. Is that a South thing? I mean, I know you come from.
They're all around. It's similar to, say, a Village Inn. Whereas, like, you get home-cooked food, but you also can get, like, pies and stuff.
I thought Perkins was like a new, hip, cool name for Percocets. That's where I thought you were going. I didn't know.
No, well, he had a problem with those, too.
Yeah, right,
But,
exactly.
no, I specifically meant the Perkins waitresses that he fancied.
Okay, well, like I said, you know, America loves a comeback.
Sure.
And I think that was probably one of the greatest comebacks, or it will become one of the greatest comebacks of all time as far as sports goes. I think it transcends sports. Like I said, if you've watched Happy Gilmore, and I know you have, everyone's watched Happy Gilmore.
I love when you talk serious golf and they compare it to Happy Gilmore.
I don't take golf seriously. I mean, it's something that you go have a couple of pops and play with your boys on the weekend or whatever. It's not. I don't consider it like great sports viewing. I don't even, you know, it is a sport because you walk, I guess, and you swing the club. But
walking's a sport now?
Well, I mean, they make a big deal that in the PGA they walk instead of ride the little cart,
Sure.
right? So, I mean, I guess that's the sport aspect of it.
So
as opposed to the skill aspect.
So when we're done today and I walk out to my truck, can I pencil that in as my workout for the day?
Well, okay, so what's the difference between, other than the little animals and the windmill and stuff, what's the difference between golf and putt-putt? The walking, the 18 holes.
You walk 18 holes in putt-putt. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but it's not that far.
When's the last time you've seen a golf cart on the putt-putt course, Leroy?
I feel you. I guess the balls are different, too. You don't have the white balls. You have the blue and the pink and the green, yellow.
I'll defer to your knowledge on that.
My extensive knowledge of putt-putt.
Sure.
Okay, great. If
It's
you
a family show.
If you can get it through the windmill, you're good. So, no, I like I said, I'm not a big golf fan. I don't watch it. But I thought that was pretty cool. And it was neat seeing, you know, obviously Twitter and Facebook exploded with the news as Tiger won that match.
Sure.
And I think people that don't necessarily watch sports were tuned in.
People who don't necessarily watch golf will tune in to watch Tiger. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because he does transcend the sport, for sure.
But I think people get excited. Even people that aren't sports fans are like, oh, Tiger won. Okay. I just think it's that comeback thing, and I think that's what people love to watch. So congratulations to Tiger Woods on that thing, and it was a blast to kind of follow that. Now I can go back to not watching golf for the next rest of my life, I guess. I don't think.
Well, Ryder Cup's this weekend, and he's playing, so you might have to watch again.
And by the way, I mean, and I know it's another network and everything else, but hey, DirecTV, really, can we not get BN Sports back? I can't watch Lionel Messi because we don't have BN Sports. I know you don't like soccer or football, as the rest of the world calls it, but or footy. But I miss watching that stuff.
I miss watching MLW on Friday nights on BN. So, yeah.
What's MLW?
Major League Wrestling.
Oh, did they have that on?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I did not know that. So yeah,
There's a whole big world out there besides soccer and putt-putt, Leroy.
Well, I love the football, American football. I love watching that, especially, you know, though, would you call the Cowboys American football at this time?
Yeah.
You would? I don't know. Anyway, why don't we take a quick break?
We'll come back. American football.
Not good American
but,
football, yeah. We got a great game coming up here real soon, the Cowboys versus the Redskins. Yeah, exactly. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with Micah Frankel at CageMinds.com and the CageMinds.com segment.
ProView Network crew, assemble!
That's good. We're first.
High school sports are back live on Proview Sports Network. Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Folks, there's no other way but to be all in. Either he's Lord of all or he is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity. See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know him and follow his teachings, hashtag life change will occur.
This is Coach Borrego of the Charlotte Hornets. Hello to all you parents out there in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I want to congratulate 38 years for the AYBL. You guys are doing a great job. You've shaped a lot of lives, young men and women, and you'll continue to do that. Parents, get involved, sign your kid up. It's a great program. It helped shape who I am today, helped shape me as a basketball player, as a coach. So get out there, sign them up. Have a great season. Good luck to everybody.
It's time to make your plans to be at New Mexico's premier annual sports event. The 13th annual New Mexico Bowl is Saturday, December 15th, high noon at Dreamstyle Stadium. I'm Jeff Symbieta, Executive Director of the New Mexico Bowl. Be with us as once again college football's bowl season kicks off right here in Albuquerque. Bring your friends, bring your colleagues, host your holiday party at the New Mexico Bowl. It's annually one of the most exciting games of college football's postseason. Bottom line, it's a whole lot of fun. Visit NewMexicoBowl.com or call 925-5999, the New Mexico Bowl, where bowl season begins.
It's hard for a child to learn when they're hungry or being abused at home. Let's stop blaming teachers for problems they didn't create. I'm Steve Pierce. My mom loved teaching, but now Santa Fe asks teachers to be truant officers or social workers. Let our teachers teach, fix our broken test system, and put more money into classrooms. Good teachers don't give up on their kids. As governor, I will not give up on our teachers.
The Barley Room, a proud sponsor of Proview Networks for over 9 years, is pleased to introduce Black Iron Catering. From weddings and family reunions to birthdays and office parties, Black Iron Catering is perfect for any event. Contact Jamie at 505-459-8259 and book your event today. Black Iron Catering. Let us bring our kitchen to you.
Well, I'm at the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at Proview Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Car Crafters, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Don't forget, every Proview Network sporting event is on sale at our DVD store. Go to www.proviewNetworks.com to buy your DVD today.
Welcome to a place where we talk about people getting punched in the face. This is Cage Minds. I'm Micah Frankel. We had a huge weekend of combat sports this past weekend. Tell you guys that Braden Allen with a rear naked choke has captured the LFA middleweight title. keeping the hype train rolling. AJ McKee with a crisp left hook put to sleep John Makapa in the Bellator 205 main event. Brazil, it was a good night for the Brazilians like it normally is. And even though it was a valiant effort on 6 days' notice, after the third round, exhausted, Eric Anders totally ran out of gas, couldn't make it to his corner, and just laid down in the middle of the octagon. A big win in his light heavyweight debut for Thiago Santos. On the local scene, in Hobbs, Isidro Castillo's School of Hard Knocks Promotions had havoc in Hobbs 9 in the main event. BJ Hurst quickly took down, mounted, and ground and pounded for a first-round finish, defeating John Romero. Full results for all these events are up at cageminds.com. Now, we also had a ton of boxing. Sin City Showdown in Las Vegas from the Mayweather Promotions. Cameron Creel picking up a huge decision victory. Thank you, Josh Herrera, for that report. Again, check it out at cageminds.com. Myself, I was at Buffalo Thunder Resort and Casino to cover Sound of Thunder from Holmes Boxing. Ronnie Baca picking up a knockout victory. Matthew Diamond Boy Griego remaining undefeated. And Luis Avila picking up a split decision win in the main event from Antonio Toe Martinez. Photos on the Cage Minds Combat Sports News Facebook page. Couple more things. Anthony Joshua defends his slew of heavyweight titles with a 7th round knockout there in Manchester, opening a clear pathway now to fighting the winner of Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. This coming Friday, the one local event we have is going to be Valhalla Rejects 1. We're going to talk more about that event in just a moment, but I want to remind you guys about that. Because also this week, tune to UFC Fight Pass on Thursday. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be in New York on top of a skyscraper. It looks like karate combat. So if you have UFC Fight Pass or you haven't done your trial week, I would go check that out. Going to be some old school karate action. Friday, you also have Glory 59, the heavyweight title, Rico Verhoeven defending. That's going down. And LFA 51 on Access TV as Sabina Mazo defends the LFA women's flyweight title. Saturday, Bellator and its long-awaited debut on DAZN occurs. That card consists of Andre Korshakov versus Douglas Lima in the first welterweight Grand Prix quarterfinal, a co-main event of Quentin Rampage Jackson versus Wanderlei Silva in the main event as Rory McDonald looks to become the champ, currently holding the Bellator welterweight title. He looks to dethrone Gegard Mousasi, who will be making his first defense of the Bellator middleweight title. Now, I'd already said it, this Friday, the Marriott Pyramid WB MMA, that's Welcome Back MMA, is presenting Valhalla Rejects 1. The main event is going to see Fit NHB's Evan DeLong taking on tough Mexican Daniel Soto. My guess at this time right now, half of the main event. Evan DeLong, thanks for joining me this week, Evan.
Thanks for having me, Micah. Appreciate being here.
So right now, you're riding a 3-fight win streak, but this is the return of the cage. It's been a little bit, right?
Yes, it's been a while. It's been about a year and a half so far, and just been training every day and just waiting for this moment. And now we're back in action this Friday.
Year and a half. How much sweeter does it make it that you get such a spotlight as a main event for the return?
This is an opportunity that I'm ready to capitalize on. I've been putting time into the gym every day, been training with the best at Fit NHB, and ready to do work and ready to display my skills in front of everybody.
I believe it's been about 4 years now since you made the decision to leave home in Indiana and come down here to Albuquerque, New Mexico. What has that been like?
It's been a great opportunity for me. It's something that I'm glad I did. Of course, I miss my family back in Indiana, but it's just, this had to be done, and now I'm training with the best fighters out there and training with the Dirty Bird, Tim Means, and who's fighting here in November, and I'm just excited to be fighting under all these tough fighters, and I can't wait to do what I do.
How excited also are you for your first main event here now in your second home?
It's time. It's finally time. I've been waiting for this moment for a while, and fighting on the undercards for King of the Cage and the co-main events, and now it's finally I'm I'm doing it. Let's make this happen.
It's been a year and a half, but it's a 3-fight win streak. So do you still feel that momentum from the last few fights?
I do. I do feel that momentum still coming, and I've been improving every day and learning from Coach Tom Vaughn and John Judy, as well as Arlene Sanchez, working my striking and ground game. And I feel like I've evolved as a fighter, even though this time off, and just ready to get in there and show Daniel Soto, my opponent, what's going to happen.
What else do you know about Daniel? I've heard a tough Mexican brawler. Do you have much more information than that?
He's really scrappy, of course, same thing as brawler, but he's, not too much about him, my goal is to get out there and just take over, take control of the fight and be relentless on him.
Well, let's talk about the event for a second. Welcome Back MMA. All proceeds from this event are going to help homeless and disabled vets here in New Mexico. What were your thoughts when you heard about the mission statement of what these guys are trying to do with this event?
I think it's incredible. I think that what we're doing here with the homeless veterans and just helping everyone out with this, and the proceeds all go to that. I think that this is an incredible fundraiser to be a part of, and I'm so glad to be a part of the main event for this.
Where do you feel you changed the most as a fighter in these last 4 years? Where's Evan evolved the most?
I think I evolved the most on my probably more grappling. I've been putting together things for better finishes, quicker finishes, waiting for the right opportunity, counters, seeing what my opponent, waiting for his mistake. But also, it's still the same with striking. I've been working a lot with Arlene and Sanchez, and I've been seeing some differences in my changing for kickboxing and putting more time into Muay Thai now. So I'm ready to display all my skills: elbows, knees, punches, and kicks. Let's do it all.
Back-to-back wins by submission. The last 2 times I at least saw you. Got a submission in the cage, and then we saw you transition right over to the mats. We saw you at Fight to Win, and I believe it was, 2 guillotine chokes in like 10 days?
Yes, it was. It was, they did that themselves. They slipped up on me, and I took advantage of it, and same thing for this fight this Friday, as soon as he makes a mistake, it's mine, taking it.
How much has your mentality and the mental aspect of your game changed since being here, since training with Fit and HB?
I think it's changed drastically. I've put a lot of time into being around world champions. It's also, we have a lot of world champions on my team from King of the Cage, and seeing their mentality, as well as, my teammates in the UFC, and seeing theirs, it's just a relentless attitude to keep going every single day, and to, even though when we have tough opportunities and tough situations in the way, that we never give up and we do whatever it takes. And that's our motto right there, is do whatever it takes to succeed.
How important is Friday night?
Friday night is extremely important for me. This is every fight is important to me. It's all eggs in one basket for me, and that's how it should be, and that's how I treat it. I treat it like this is fight or die. This is ride or die type of thing. I gotta make sure that I gotta take care. I gotta own this fight, and that's what I plan to do.
And with that kind of mentality and with what you chose to do, how has fighting really spoke to you?
Fighting is also, it spoke to me in a lot of different ways. I mean, it's like I put all that time into it, and I also I see it like it's put all my time into it, and it overflows in other things, such as my work, and also other things I want to get better at, and just helps me improve just in general. And it's changed my life, and it's doing a lot for me.
When did you start training martial arts?
I started training at the age of 17. I'm 31 right now, so we've been doing this for a while, and just going from gym to gym, training in Indiana, you know, Midwest area, and competing out there. And then I used to train out there in California, Southern California, and learned a lot from out there, taking fights as well. And also the wins and the losses, I learned from all of them. And I learned more than from my losses, of course, but even the wins, I mean, it just helps me build up as a person, my character, and I like to always see what I did wrong from the past fights and always try to build up no matter what, because that you gotta be open to your weaknesses and just know that you can improve from it and actually take the action and improve on it, and that's what I've been doing, and I'm just excited to fight this Friday.
It's Friday, we're 2 days away. How does this fight play out?
I go out there and I'm just gonna do what Evan DeLon does, you know, go out there and take control, take action, and be relentless on Daniel Soto and get my hand raised.
This Friday night, you have Valhalla Rejects 1 at the Marriott Pyramid. Evan DeLong, thank you for joining me here today.
Thank you,
we'll see you at the weigh-ins. Everybody keep up with Cage Minds. We'll have the results from the weigh-ins up. And also, don't forget, doors open at 6, fights at 7 on Friday night. Come join us at the Marriott Pyramid. Thanks again for the time. We'll be back with more Red Menace TV in just a moment.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at Proview Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need, from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms, and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rollins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales. The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game.
It's that time of the year. AYBL registration is open from now until September 30th, with gold and silver divisions for both boys and girls. AYBL is the premier youth basketball league right here in the metro area. It's the 38th year of the best league around. Proview Network crew, assemble!
That's good. We're first.
High school sports are back live on Proview Sports Network. Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Folks, there's no other way but to be all in. Either he's Lord of all or he is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity. See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know him and follow his teachings, hashtag life change will occur.
This is Coach Borrego of the Charlotte Hornets. Hello to all you parents out there in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I want to congratulate 38 years for the AYBL. You guys are doing a great job. You've shaped a lot of lives, young men and women, and you'll continue to do that. Parents, get involved, sign your kid up. It's a great program. It helped shape who I am today, helped shape me as a basketball player, as a coach. So get out there, sign them up. Have a great season. Good luck to everybody.
Back to Red Menace TV here on Proview Networks. I did want to throw out a little bit of recruiting information, Michael, for the Lobo basketball team, the men's basketball team, as they're currently hosting four-star stretch forward Antoine January. Of course, on enchantmentsports.com, I interviewed Antoine a couple of weeks ago, and he said he was coming for a visit. Really a great basketball player that Paul Weir's going after, along with assistant coach Brandon Mason. Top nine, his top nine, which New Mexico's in, but when you start getting visits, that's when you're really comfortable. Some of the other teams listed that he's interested in: Texas Tech, Texas A&M, Kansas State, Washington State, Nevada, Florida State, and Ole Miss. So Antoine Jeremy's in town, or I'm sorry, Antoine January. I still can't pronounce people's names. I don't know what's going on. At this one, I just gave him a whole new name. Antoine January is in town this week. And then coming up soon, another four-star player, Terry, who they, on hashtag Cherry Armstrong, you know, Cherry Silver, Cherry Armstrong. Did you get that one? Okay, yeah. Some people were like, well, what do you mean? You know, it's just like, no, that's Cherry Silver. Anyway, he's got New Mexico down in his top 4, along with Arizona, Oklahoma, and Oregon. He should be coming for a visit here real soon. Brandon Mason and Coach Weir really tearing it up on the recruiting trail. Lobo basketball practice should start sometime this week, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, coming up here pretty quick. The season will be here before we know it. They finally released the schedule last week. Lobos will start on November 6th on the road at Cal State Northridge.
Yeah, there wasn't any like big surprises in the schedule. I mean, I know they held off for a while.
Well, no, you pretty much know everything. They were trying to work out a couple of games.
Yeah.
Weir was waiting to get the okay to schedule the game in Hobbs. So, you know, they had to wait a little longer than they maybe normally would have.
What do you think about that? Doing the basketball game down in Hobbs and all that stuff?
I don't have a problem with it.
Okay.
I mean, it's taking the Lobos to another part of the state. I mean, that's why, you know, the Aggies, they didn't do it last year, but they had done it the couple of years prior, playing a game in Rio Rancho at the Star Center. I don't see a problem with it. You're not going to draw as many fans as you would in a game at the Pit. But yeah, whatever. I think the good outweighs the bad with it. And not that I really think there's any bad with it, but yeah, it's fine.
Are you excited for Lobo basketball season this year? I mean, or are you still in football
I'm
mode?
still in football mode, but yeah. How can you not be excited about Lobo basketball season? I think they exceeded expectations last year in year one under Paul Weir, and expectations are high this year, and yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. It's just like, it's always that weird transition time of going from football to basketball. I know most New Mexicans, it's not a problem, as pretty much it's Lobo basketball, you know, 300, every season of the year is Lobo basketball.
You don't know how many days there are in the year, do you? That's how you
364 or 5.
And you've gone back to school?
I'm a junior, graduated with honors. How's that? I still don't know how many days there are. You know, I work with people. I don't really work with calendars.
How many days a year do you work with people?
Well, you take weekends off at different times. Anyway,
it's like I'm with Trujillo or something.
Yeah, there you go. Speaking of seasons, NFL season's in full swing.
You excited for the Cowboys?
Not really. You know, I made a joke with you because obviously Garoppolo went out for the 49ers this week, and probably just a nasty little injury there.
Yeah.
And then some of the fans were starting to call for Colin Kaepernick to be signed, coming back for the 49ers. And I said, what happens first, Colin Kaepernick signing with the 49ers or Des Bryant re-signing with the Dallas Cowboys, because they're desperately in need of some sort of a threat at the wide receiver or tight end position, because they have nothing.
Neither of those things happen, but the one that's more likely to happen is Des back to the Cowboys. And not that there's bad blood with Kaepernick and the 49ers, there's actually not. But Kyle Shanahan's style of offense is not really suited to Kaepernick's strength, so I don't really think that's an option there.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I know there's bad blood between Des and the Cowboys or Jerry or whatever, but the Cowboys...
Not with Jerry. They were in Jerry's box at the Beyonce concert there at AT&T Stadium a couple of weeks back.
You got to watch Beyonce, I guess.
And who better to watch Beyonce with than with Des?
Yeah, there you go. Because Des needs a team because nobody else seems to want him, right?
Sure.
Is this a case of someone just thinking too highly of himself? Still thinking that he's, 5 years ago?
It's a case of what he thinks he is versus what every other team in the league apparently thinks he is, or is vastly different. He could have signed with Cleveland in the offseason.
They're good now.
They've won one game.
Oh, I mean, for them, that's good. That's a Super Bowl season right there.
But for any other team in the National Football League, it's not so good.
You forgot they tied a game, too.
Right.
That's huge.
It's really not.
Okay. I'm just saying he should have signed there because nobody else wants him. I mean, when you go when the Patriots go Josh Gordon instead of Des Bryant, you're pretty much, you're on the heap. Are you not?
Well, Josh Gordon cost them nothing.
That's true.
He cost them, a 4th-round pick, and they got a 5th-round pick in return. And, so the Josh Gordon deal cost them nothing. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, they just cut him and move on.
And if the Cowboys desperately need anything, I mean, they're just like watching that receiving core.
The Cowboys receiving core is, and I'm not a Cowboys fan, it is brutal.
It's terrible. Watching it, it's horrible. I mean, their only play is that little slant play to Beasley. Other than that, they got nothing. I mean, nothing.
For all the flack that the offensive coordinator, Scott Linehan's taking, what else are you going to do with that group? But between that, the offensive line is banged up, something that everybody thought was going to be a strength for them has become a bit of a liability because of injuries and guys missing time. So, sure, you can open it up and try to let Dak throw more, but it's hard to throw laying on your back.
Yeah, well, and when you have no one to throw to. I mean, he hits a wide open Ezekiel Elliott last week, who's out of bounds.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you not have any kind of awareness of where you are at the field? I'm just saying.
Yeah, maybe it's not a bad idea, even with the bad offensive line, to just open it up and let Dak stand back there. Because he'll get sacked enough. The odds are in his favor if you've watched very many NFL games this year that they'll at least half the time he gets sacked, right, there'll be a personal foul.
Well, the Cowboys got one of those this week,
yeah.
and that kind of set the tone for that game this past weekend. And then obviously we saw what happened with the Green Bay Packers and Clay Matthews, and it's brutal. I don't even. It's like terrible to watch. It's like you don't even want to see pass rushers come in.
Yeah. Look, I'm a big believer in protecting the quarterback.
Sure.
I get it. I understand what they're trying to do, but what they've actually done is ruining football.
Yeah, really.
Never mind people getting upset about players kneeling. What will make people turn off their TVs quicker than anything is a game where you can't tackle anyone, you can't sack anyone without a penalty flag being thrown.
I mean, it used to be that you would put blitzes that would come up into the face of the quarterback, so that way, A, they couldn't throw, and B, they were trying to evade that. You can't do that anymore, because if they get hit, forget about it. It's 15 yards, first down, and that sets a tone for the entire game. It is bad. I have a feeling they'll have to work on that, because I just don't think anybody likes it.
All right, the question on everybody's mind
with
the NFL season. Who finishes the year with a better record, the Browns or the Cowboys?
I thought you were going to say the Patriots.
Oh, the Patriots will be fine. Don't worry about Bill and
Bill's
Tom.
okay?
They'll be fine.
Did you like that video I tweeted you of him walking out to the Stone Cold Steve Austin song when he kind of dissed those kids? I thought that was awesome. I'll tell you what, the Cowboys are really stinking up the joint, and I don't see them getting better. So at least the Browns say they have Baker Mayfield, and maybe they can do something better. But hey, we're at the end of the show, so that'll be the end of that question. For Michael Carlisle.
Well, you could answer it.
I did. I said I think that the Browns have a little bit more ups than the Cowboys do. The Cowboys have a great defense. For Alden, for Michael, we'll see you next week. God bless you all.